Well, before I begin, I think I should address the obvious. I know that as graduates, we're all pretty upset that we can't be outside, but I must say, none of us are going to be working on our tans anyways with these sun hats and these awesome robes, so we'll be cozy inside. First off, thank you all for being here, and good afternoon. This day is a very special day for not only myself, but for many others who are here today. Whether you may be a graduating student, family member, or close friend, this day is worth remembering. This day is particularly gratifying for me because I know that it is proof that communication students do actually work harder. Now let me clarify. While everybody else, all the bio majors, the business majors, while their finals are done, they forgot about classes and they're graduating, enjoying their day, I'm still up on a podium giving a speech to everybody and still communicating. My family and close friends are here today, and this is their first chance to get to see first impression of what I may have learned throughout my time here at college. So please, as I dive into this commencement speech, if you could all do me a favor by making me look good by laughing at my corny jokes and applauding at the end, I would really appreciate it. Now, while I may not have had the privilege of getting to know each faculty member, I do have a few memories as well as some extra lessons from a few professors that I wish to reflect on. And I can assure you that if I had the opportunity to learn from each professor, you would all be getting much more comfortable in these seats. One of the things that I will miss most about college is definitely going to be the people, and the people that I had the privilege of sharing my time with. I have not only come to know my fellow classmates, but the faculty members that are standing behind me are more than just professors that have dedicated their time to teaching all of us theories and lessons in communication, but they are my friends. Throughout my college career, I could never have asked for a more knowledgeable, caring, and personal group of professors. And I thank God for blessing me with the opportunity to have spent 2 great years with all of you people. So thank you. But first and foremost, I would like to point out Miss Linnell Curry. I believe I can speak for all my colleagues in saying that no organization could have asked for a more compassionate and quite simply awesome administrative assistant. As a child growing up, I was no stranger being called to the office. Not a rare occasion. Except now, I can honestly say that I will miss being able to pop into your office for a question and a real quick 20-minute chat. Catch up. Linnell, you are amazing, and thank you for all you do. Professor David Arney, it was in your class of argumentation that we learned to formulate, organize, and deliver effective arguments on a debate platform under high stress, I might add. And Professor Arney, I want to thank you for pushing me to think on my feet and communicate effectively under pressure. That's a lesson I will never forget. Now, Professor Joel Iverson, on top of learning about the functions of organizational communication, I am also quite informed on your son's status in the Taekwondo community. I also know that staying in school and getting good grades in your class was an excellent decision, mainly because you outlined so clearly how chain smoking in a semi-truck all day isn't all it's cracked up to be. And I can say that because we're both semi-truck drivers, so I can relate to you in that field. But most importantly, Professor Iverson, you taught me that it's okay to relax and to have fun and to enjoy learning in your classroom. And so for that, I thank you. Professor Sarah Hayden, I have never once had a professor be so willing to open up and dive into deep conversation about life and to discuss difficult issues with me as a student on a personal level. And for those of you who don't know Sarah, I would vouch that you would have a difficult time meeting a more accepting and compassionate individual towards other people. I want to say thank you, Professor Hayden, for teaching us as students the rhetorical skills necessary to be a means for pushing and furthering acceptance in the world around us. And speaking of accepting, Professor Betsy Bach, accepting is no challenge because I have found that you can really cut a rug on a dinner cruise when the DJ plays Uptown Funk. And yes, those pictures still do exist. I have asked my fellow classmates what are one of the best ways to describe being in your class. And I found each response to be universal. You begin each class in a way that is representative of who you are as a person, very bright and positive. Professor Bach, thank you so much for being a professor that has placed your value not only on our education, but on our overall experience as students at this university. The field of health and communication indicates to us that positive relationships such as these contribute to our overall health and well-being. Right, Steve? Now, Professor Steve Yoshimura, although you always insist on claiming that you do not have a sense of humor, I cannot recall one class period where everyone was not cracking up as a result to a joke you told in class. Furthermore, through the unique hands-on assignments that you assign our classes and that you make us all do before we graduate, such as our last week in Missoula assignment, you made me realize just how emotional I will be today when I have to move away. And so for that, I thank you, I guess. Now, lastly, Professor Steve Schwartz is not here today, but I do have something a little special prepared to demonstrate what it's actually like to attend one of his classes. Like all the other instructors, Professor Schwartz is highly respected. The one thing that distinguishes him is I have never been able to read him. He's the hardest individual to read. I'll never forget the moments in which a student will answer a question in one of his classes, and then unanimously the entire class will look at Professor Schwartz to see what he's thinking. Now, although I am shortly leaving this campus, I just wanted to take a second to thank all of you for allowing me to make so many fond memories for my time here in Missoula, Montana. It's been a real treat, so thank you. Now, if there's one thing I do not wish to be remembered for this speech, it is being a buzzkill. But I must say that although we have achieved a great goal that's taken quite some time to accomplish, this is not the end. We have merely put more tools in our tool belt, and the real work is still yet to come. Let me clarify. The field of communication is a special one because the focus is not merely on communication, but the focus is large on other fields of study. As part of the communication field, one of the fields that is looked at is the field of philosophy. And to be specific, one area in which is studied are the ideas and principles that are presented by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle. And Aristotle stated one of my favorite quotes, and that is, "You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is a habit." Today, we're all in the same auditorium here. We're all receiving the same diplomas. And we all have the same opportunity to leave these doors and pursue our dreams in a variety of fields that we could not have pursued yesterday. For myself, I will be leaving in a few short hours to report to duty for a hotshot crew in Southern Oregon. For those of you that aren't familiar with this occupation, hotshots are an elite branch of the Forest Service who are called out to take on some of the most difficult and out-of-control forest fires. In my walk of life, I will literally be called upon to perform excellence not only as a vital component of my team, but I will be called to fight literal flames across the country. Flames that burn hot and that are out of control. Although not all of us here today may have the chance to fight these literal flames, there are invisible flames that are burning hot and out of control all around us here at home. Furthermore, there's an entire audience here today that has the ability to fight these flames. There are flames burning within relationships, and some of you will use your expertise and your education to mediate and counsel these relationships back to health. There are flames burning deep at the bottom of hungry stomachs of the impoverished, and your skills may be used to assist these people by helping them get the resources that they need. There are flames of dishonesty and injustice burning in the halls of political capitals, and for some of you, the skills you have acquired will be used to add a dose of integrity to the nation's leadership. You see, whether you are graduating today or a member of the audience, each one of us has the same opportunity to make the choice to identify the areas in which we can douse the flames around us, as well as those flames that are wreaking havoc within our own lives. If I could leave this university and my classmates with anything, it would be this. Let's be the class that leaves here and dedicates ourselves to pursuing excellence in everything we do. Let's be the class that leaves here with our eyes wide open, geared toward people that are around us. Let's be the class that values our integrity as highly as our success. And finally, let's be the class that is focused on using our education to douse the flames that are plaguing the world around us. I just want to say thank you all very much for being such a wonderful audience. And class of 2015, get ready to turn those tassels, baby, because it's party time.